All right, it's time for the VooDoo Chef podcast, where we will discuss all things voodoo from the VooDoo Studios located right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. So to all my booties out there, if you're looking for nothing but a good time, this is the place to be. Call your friends, knock on the neighbor's door, and let them know it's time to party like a rock star for the next hour. Join me and my guests and learn to VooDoo like we do as we discuss our faves and the voodoo that we use. I'll put our guests on the spot as we ask for their top three, and make sure and listen as we discuss some of our favorite war stories from the kitchens we've worked in. Sit back, grab a tall glass of your favorite libation, and enjoy this episode of the VooDoo Chef podcast.
What is going on, Big Eddie C? How you been, man?
Fuck, I can't complain, man. I'm reclined in my chair in my office. I got iced tea to drink. I think the only thing I could complain about is I think one of my dogs peed in here. And that means I'm going to have to clean the fucking rug. So
yeah, that's on you, man. Better you than me. Yeah. We're back. Dude, this is week 2 back, and we've already got people checking in. Poppy's already checking in. Poppy, I want to know where the fresh-ass chips are, my man. Yeah. Big Eddie, see, we got to get started right away. You know, I said I wasn't going to do it. I said I was going to talk about food, but it's driving me nuts. I got to do it. What the hell is with this term, babies? You got to help me out, man. I know we were chatting about it. We even Urban Dictionary'd it. Baby is a gender-neutral way to refer to one's child or a young non-binary person. You know, what the hell's going on, Big Eddie C?
Well, I could just be really callous, and I'm good at that. I think the autistic Ed part of me that goes,
it's wrong.
And say it's bullshit. But a lot of these terms like that, I'm going to tell you where it originates. Probably the last place anybody should be listening to.
Karen?
College campuses.
Well, you know.
College campuses, man. I mean, it's like the more shit that I read about and see, I got to paraphrase Paul Simon. Okay. You know, and he says, when I think back on all the crap I learned in high school, it's a wonder I can think it all. Well, just replace high school with college, because when I got into teaching, I went through 6 years part-time. Anybody judges me? Fuck you. Okay. I didn't go part-time because I wanted to. It was a matter of time and money, having to support myself. And there were many times there were things that I needed because your curriculum gets very prescribed. They just weren't offered. So my parents would be like, how come you're only taking whatever, 1 class, 2 classes? Because they don't offer nothing else. I'm fucked.
Right. Angelina's going through that right now.
But a lot of stuff that I was taught, especially as it pertained to education, it had no bearings like whatsoever when I got in there. One of the classes I took, the professor was a great guy, and he had written the book for the class. But somebody said to me one day, and I had been subbing for a little bit of time. He said, you realize none of this shit is going to work here? I'm like, why? They said, because the only place this guy ever taught was in Seattle, Washington, in an affluent high school. That's what everything he's writing is based on. And, you know, it's like a one-size-fits-all thing. And when you get it with a group of kids, you realize it's not going to all work. But a lot of these crazy ideas are coming from college by professors that haven't had anything approaching a real job since, if ever, they were teenagers.
Well,
they didn't either do the kitchen. What's that?
I don't know that, man. You little K-12 freaks that go to school to be a teacher, never been in the outside world. It's even worse when you go on to be a college professor and never worked in the real world. But let me first clarify and quantify. I absolutely love everybody. If, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, what you believe. You do you, I do me. I love everybody, and I think everybody knows that. I think the reason the term Navy got me so riled up is because I was reading an article about babies. Babies. The term baby, and then they replaced it with baby. Baby's fucking gender neutral. The term baby is gender neutral. Why do we need to replace it with baby? Because them college people that come up with this shit, they be fucking stupid. There you have it.
I don't
Big
know.
EDC, let's jump right in, because I'm gonna get fucking added and slashed and fucking whatever.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. I mean, I absolutely love everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. But what I hate is fucking terms that are not fucking necessary, created just for the creation, so somebody can feel important, and they're probably impotent, and they ain't never gonna have a baby anyway.
Well, language evolves, so shit comes and goes, and I don't get too whacked out about it because a lot of things that are like slang terms at the time, they don't last that long. They last a couple of years, and then they become
it's like principles.
Exactly, except for about the same reasons. It's like they say politicians should be changed about as often as diapers, and for the same reasons.
There you go.
The language and vernacular, it does that. So I don't get whacked out about the stupid terms anymore because most of them aren't here to stay. They just, especially in the lexicon of the youth, those things just they go, they're in and they go out and maybe they come back in. A very drunk principal told me years ago that things in education, it's like a revolution, in and out and back in again. And I'll tell you what, that man had some great drunk ass wisdom.
You'll tell me off air who it was. Let's give a big shout out to Brian Dobson, Carl Miller, and Paul Compton for checking in. Brian Dobson has the quote of the night so far. Soon as I said babies, he said, "Isn't that a food thing?"
Oh my God.
Oh, Carl Miller, I hope you're doing well. Paul Compton, nice to see you out there. Thanks for checking in. If you guys are out there, as always, let us know where you're checking in from. If you're enjoying a libation, tell us what it is. Big Eddie C, I'm like you. I'm on the iced tea train tonight. Been that way since I went down with the vid. Haven't had a Jack in 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
Same thing with coffee. I can't drink coffee anymore either.
Oh fuck! Then that's what happened to my mom. She's like, it's just now starting to come back, but I tell you what, that pisses her off. She's like, in her mind, she wants to be able to drink coffee and enjoy it, but her taste buds are just giving a gigantic fuck you to her mind.
Yeah, dude, I don't even want it. But I guess that's a good thing because I'm probably saving about $30-$40 a week in Starbucks. So, lots of people know I can't drink coffee, Jody Stanley. Jody checking in, Mitchell Smithy checking in. Let's give Mitch a big shout out right now. Mitch, just giving back. He was part of what the fuck, VooDoo Bash, and I know, right?
A few weeks you forgot.
And we got another big event coming up, Voodies, and this is kind of a play on our hopes. We're giving back. We're going to be on November 5th cooking for about 150 Coasties, members of the United States Coast Guard, as a give back for all they do for us. And Mitch Smithy and Patrick Arts, two of the Hillsborough County culinary educators at the high school level, are going to be coming out. I think they're doing like chimichurri shit, something over potato. I don't know. I'm sure Mitch will type it in there right now. But if they're doing chimichurri steak, I'm down like a clown. That's one of my favorites. But Big Eddie C, we got a lot of stuff going on. You mentioned the golf tournament coming around. I've been getting a lot of emails about VooDoo Chef products because we've been out. I went down, man. I went down. And I didn't reorder. I didn't re-up. I didn't do anything. But I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for dirt, it'll be back on the website by Friday. If you're looking for red, back on the website by Friday. NOLA, back on the website by Friday. Dust, back on the website by Friday. We are completely sold out. But don't forget, guys, you can always run to one of the retail markets that sells us. Ace Hardware, Great Grills and More, Boozy Pig. Who the fuck sells our shit? Sam sells our shit. Pinch a Penny out in Lithia. And then, of course, when we get outside the Tampa area, you're going to have to fend for yourself and look it up because Starkey Market, the Tampa store downtown. Guys, we're all over. You just got to look it up, find us, and hit it up. We appreciate all the love. As we mentioned, the VooDoo Chef Golf Tournament coming up. Your foursome can be booked right now. On November 6th, we told you last week, we're going to have it ready. We will sell out. We will sell out. So if you're interested in playing golf, make sure you log on to VooDooChef.com. Click on the golf link. You can get in the single rider lane. We'll pair you up with people. Or you can book your foursome, whatever you want to do. But make sure you're there. It's going to be an amazing day. So Big Eddie C, you ready to try something a little new today, huh?
I'm ready anytime, man.
Guys, it's time for Big Eddie C's weekly pop-up. We're going to follow Big Eddie C's lead and learn about some of the cool events happening in pulp culture over the past week. God knows Eddie C reads that paper. If you don't know, Big Eddie C reads a newspaper cover to cover every day. Am I wrong? I mean, I know you flip through the sales and shit, but...
Well, let's be honest these days. I get the paper twice a week because that's all the time it puts out. So I'm always looking at news here and there, whether it be Creative Loafing or just, local outlets, national outlets. I'm a news person. I'm always looking at the news alerts on my phone, and so I try to absorb it. And whether or not I want to have an opinion, I kind of do, but I try to keep it to the three big things, four big things: food, sports, music, and movies. But
the important things in life.
Yeah, I mean, you can include TV in the movies, so they're different, but similar. And these days, most of the movies, I mean, shit, the last movie I saw was on TV. Because there's a lot of stuff right now. HBO's showing stuff day and date as theaters.
Right.
The next Halloween is going to come out in theaters and on Peacock. There's some stuff that's been on Paramount that's going to do the same thing right now with COVID. They know people aren't real down with going to theaters. And to be quite honest with you, when we did go to the theaters last, I can't remember what the last fucking movie we saw was. I want to say it was John Wick 3. But wife and I go to Cinebistro because we hate children. And, we're willing to spend a little extra on the ticket to get that pair of nice leather seats and, order.
Have you eaten there, Big Eddie C?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How's the food? Andy King is the chef out there. He's our
I didn't know.
Andy King's like the corporate chef of Cinebistro.
Oh, wow.
He's in and out of that. His office is at that location. And
okay.
Dude, Andy's a rock star. Andy's a rock star. Used to be with Dats. Yeah, just so good stuff.
We haven't been in a while. Hopefully there's something that's going to come out that we can see there and we'll want to go. Knowing my wife about the next thing, she'll say, fuck it, I'm going to wait till the next John Wick comes out. But, that'll be next year. But, lately I watched a wacky, crazy horror movie, Malignant. If you're a horror, what's that?
How was it?
It's good. It's batshit crazy. I don't want to spoil what's in it.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, if you're into horror, it's worth watching just because it's batshit crazy, but fun. But I watched it from home thinking, I don't know if I would like it more or less in a theater because there would be a shitload of kids all screeching and screaming and laughing at shit that wasn't really intended to be funny. But, that's the communal experience. I remember, I think I went and saw, what the hell was it? One of the Paranormal Activities and I think Insidious on the same night. Gina was doing something, so I went up to AMC by you and I went for one and then just wandered over to the next one because let's face it, for somebody who looks like me, nobody ever fucking notices what I do. I mean, I'm like a fat fucking ninja, an American ninja.
All right, let's cut into these pop-ups, man. What do you got for us this week? Tell us what happened in the world. And just so you know, we got Jody Stanley checking in. She's teasing us with some coffee up there. Thanks, Jody. And Dana Kress checked in. Thanks for checking in, Dana. So what do we got in our pop-up this week? What's going on out there?
First on the coffee, it's been free all month for teachers at Wawa. So that's where I've been going every day with this big fucking thing and my ID on and filling it up. It's great. You know?
That's super cool. Big shout out to Wawa for taking care of teachers.
So first thing everybody should know by now, the Bucs are undefeated. One of only 7 teams left in the NFL that's undefeated because the Chiefs got bounced on Monday. I was wondering what the hell was going to happen just because, anything can happen from week to week, but it was a hell of a game by the Bucs. I believe final score was 48-25. Got 2 defensive touchdowns, 2 pick sixes from Mike Edwards. Brady threw 5 TIDs, and they just looked damn near dominant. And I'm excited for the game on Sunday because they're playing another undefeated team. They're playing Rams, and I think the Bucs are going to go off of them because Brady is a spiteful son of a bitch and a competitor, and Rams beat us last year. One of the only teams who did. There were only 4 teams to beat us last year. Whoa, look at that thing bouncing. That's what happens in your knee. That was wacky.
So Big Eddie,
I'm excited.
The Bucs are killing it. I mean, to watch the confidence of Tom Brady, we use him as a learning tool because he is the GOAT. But the only way you get that way is through dedication, hard work, study work, all that fun shit. We know all that. And now with all that said, what do you think about Jameis crashing this weekend? He had a great first week, and then he crashed week 2.
He did some Jameis things, and I was a little surprised by it just because of who it was against. If I remember right, it was against the Panthers. And I should say I'm surprised, but I'm not, because that was the experience with Jameis. One week was, he went from summit to plummet many times. So I shouldn't have been surprised, but what I was surprised by was Carolina looked really good with Sam Darnold under there, and everybody thought he was hammering shit on the Jets. Well, I got to tell you, he looked pretty fucking good on Sunday, and the Saints couldn't do a whole lot. Panthers got a legit defense. They might sneak up on a lot of people this year who were expecting same old bullshit out of them, and that's not the case. I mean, the Saints, I think, are probably a little displaced right now. They're on the road until and today the Superdome roof caught on fire. It's like,
So all that stuff with the Saints is true.
Yeah.
But I got to go back to my boy Jameis. I think Jameis is very talented. I mean, you got to be to play at that level. No, not taking anything away, because my fat ass is sitting here as a Monday morning quarterback, whatever day today is, a Tuesday, whatever the fuck. I think Jameis when he has a great game, I think he starts believing his own hype.
That could be.
And the moment you do that, you shit the bed. And then you got to start over.
Yeah, you got to look at it like every week is different, and it's a new opportunity to shine or go dark. And
I think what happened, Big Eddie, see, he ate too many of those W's. You know what I mean?
Crab legs and W's or whatever. But it's only week 2. I mean, he didn't really play much last year, so he's still only. You have to look at it like week 2 as a starter. But by now he should know the system and get things done. Although, I mean, in fairness, they are. If I remember right, they're missing their best wide receiver. They're missing Michael Thomas.
Dude, you're making it hard to fuck with Jameis.
I know, but I got to defend the guy, man, because I liked him. Years I worked for the Bucs. I got to talk to him a few times, and really, he was a nice, down-to-earth dude who, I think legitimately had the drive to win and had the tools to win, but he didn't realize sometimes you got to give up on a play. Just fucking let it go. Don't throw it where somebody else can.
Guy, Eddie, see, absolutely.
I mean,
but you know what? that doesn't make a pro football player.
No, you're
No.
After this much time, 6-7 years in the league. This is year 7 for him. Things should be, they say the game slows down because you adjust to the speed, and you know what you've got to do as soon as the ball snaps. You've got roughly 3 to 5 seconds to get rid of that thing one way or the other. And you can't do what you did in college. The quarterbacks in college who would look down the field, they don't see anybody, and they're like, fuck it, I'm taking off.
Yeah, this ain't that.
They don't play for that long. The guys who did that when they came out of college, your Russell Wilsons and Cam Newtons, eventually they had to chill the fuck out, and it took maybe an injury or two to remind them that everybody you're playing against is better than the best person at that position you played against in college.
True that.
Whereas you might have been able to lay out some 180-pound defensive back, the guy coming at you, he's going to hit you harder, and then there's 5-6 guys coming with him to swarm him. Please, yeah. So I think Jameis is going to get better, though. The problem is the Bucs are light years ahead of them and everybody else in that division. And barring injuries, we're going to fuck everyone up. So
to wrap this piece, the Buccaneers up. What's your prediction for the game?
Ass whipping. I don't see it being as close as everybody thinks. Won't be like this week, but 2 touchdowns, no doubt.
2 touchdowns?
2 touchdowns.
All right, we'll find out next week. See how Eddie did on his Bucs prediction.
2-touchdown win, 14-point win.
What else you got for us? I know you got a couple more. What else we got for pop updates? Pop up.
I don't know why it was. We caught a little bit of the Emmys the other night, and I always want to see who wins. And there was mainly 2 shows that just cleaned up that shit. Okay, you had your serious one and you had your funny one. The funny one, Ted Lasso. Everybody ought to watch it
on TV.
It's great stuff. This season is not as good as the first one, but the first was lightning in a bottle. So you just have to follow it through its development and enjoy what you can. So
I think they're trying to do a lot of character development, and and it's that's always tough. It is what it is. But one of the best shows, my favorite show on TV. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. Who won from that show?
Jason Sudeikis won for actor, and
didn't the lady won too? The owner of the team.
Anna Waddingham won for Best Supporting Actress. I believe Brendan Hunt, who plays Beard, won for Supporting Actor. It won Best Comedy. Yeah, it took a bunch home. It took him in other. It took him in other minor categories like casting and other secondary ones that weren't acting related. So it just took a shitload in the comedy categories.
Great show. And what was the other one that cleaned house?
Now the serious one, if you haven't seen it, it's worth it. Mayor of Easttown on HBO. Fantastically done show. That won for Best Actor, Best Actress, Kate Winslet, Best Supporting Actress, Julianne Nicholson, Best Supporting Actor, Evan Peters. Took a lot of them. Now, if you think, I don't have time for that show, well, 2 things I will say to you. Fuck and you. Because there's only, this is it, folks, 7 episodes. That's it.
Yeah, but you got to have HBO, Big Eddie, see? And I don't have Bill's phone number anymore.
Oh, shit. Get that month trial. And
you're smart.
Actually, I take that back. Starting Thursday, see, I don't know when this is going to air, but starting this Thursday, the 23rd, up through Monday, the 27th, HBO has a free trial. So all the shit that's on demand, you can find if you have cable. Now, if you cut the cord, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But maybe HBO Max is free. I don't know. But that's the perfect time. That's what my mom does. When shit's free on HBO, she watches it like all weekend. She knows how to pull it up on demand, and I'll tell her what to watch. And that is absolutely worth it because maybe the first episode's a little slow because it's got to set up the murder. And then after that, it's the lives of the people involved and who actually did what.
That sounds like my kind of show, too.
Yeah, and you get done with it fast. If you're going to binge it, it won't take long.
Yeah, we binge everything, man.
You know,
We binge everything.
Yep,
hey,
that is well worth it.
I know we're running out of time here on this piece here, and we're gonna have our guest here in a minute. But I wanted to ask, did you get to see Seth Rogen when he took the stage and hear him go off on not having masks?
I saw a clip of it.
And wearing this hermetically sealed tent.
I saw a clip of it the next morning, and I was just like, dude, you're embarrassing yourself. You're disappointing me. Shut the fuck up. You're like the biggest pot smoker anybody could think of, for one. And two, you got a room full of every single person who is vaccinated. Nobody's fucking getting sick. I mean, shit.
I just think it was cool. I thought it was cool that he was calling out people who are all bitching about we need to have masks and we need to do this and do that. I just thought that was cool that he was calling. I mean, Hollywood's the one, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to protect everybody. And I know everybody has their own thoughts, their own beliefs. Good. That's fine. We all do. You do you, I'll do me. We'll all be happy. But for him to get up on stage and say, I heard he said, I wouldn't even have come if I knew it was going to be like this. I don't know how true that is, but whatever. I just, somebody getting on stage and calling it out, I'm down like a clown. Everybody else is calling it out. Why not call it out amongst yourselves? Just my take. Just my take.
I can see that. I just thought, it's like, dude, don't fucking scold or shame me. I'd have punched him square in the fucking face. I'm a grown adult. I got the fucking shots long before any of you pussies. So, I got my flu shot. Shit, I got scolded for that because it like squirted out of my arm. And she's like, did you just take some ibuprofen? I'm like, yeah, I did yesterday. My fucking shoulder hurt. But I was like, how'd you know? But, I get all those shots. I love drugs. I love shots. It's great, So better living through chemistry. It's all good. But
I've got me some natural antibodies mixed in now, so I'm all good.
You probably got more than I do. So
I don't know, dude. That shit fucked me up. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Same story I've heard from everybody. So,
well,
all right.
Good stuff. And if anybody ever wants to pipe in on any of that, the comment bar is there, and that's what it's there for. Just add your comments. Big Eddie C is going to be doing a weekly pop-up every week, talking about all the things going on in pop culture. But as you can tell, we talk so much shit, we only get to one or two topics. So don't forget to check in if you're just now coming in. Man, so many people coming in. We got Donald Hill and Don, just so you know, when I was saying I hate teachers and principals, not you, man. Not
Don.
Eric Wazinski's checking in, saying the shot set him in. Shot did him in for a solid 12 hours. Well, the shot didn't do me in, man. COVID did my ass in, and he did me in for a solid 3.5 weeks. 10 of those days, which I don't remember. But
I didn't have a problem with either of those things. Either of those shots, nothing. The second shingles shot gave me like a day and a half of flu symptoms, but I knew it wasn't bad because I was still hungry. That's my gauge. If I'm still eating like a fucking wild animal, I ain't sick. So,
well, it's time. I hear that too, and I'm finally getting my appetite back. I think I gained back 10 pounds and maybe a little more, but got to start working on that too. We got our guest checking in here, and we got a very special guest today. I want to tell you a story about this guest before we bring him in, because I know he's going to probably tell a lot of stories. When I was 15 years old, this gentleman asked me, hey, you want to wash dishes for me over the summer? He was managing a pizza restaurant, local pizza restaurant, which would eventually go on to become one of my favorite restaurants. Pat Icavelli, a couple other guys created this restaurant called CDB's, Tampa staple for years. Unfortunately, they're now gone, but my 4 brothers all worked there. I got engaged there. I worked there. Just every family event we had there. So when I was asked if I wanted to wash dishes there at 15, I got to be honest, the only thing I really heard was, hey, you want to hang out with me for the summer? And I said, absolutely. Boy, did I get scammed because I ended up fucking washing dishes all summer.
You got the bonus plan. Yep.
But I learned so many things there. Washing dishes. I learned about the career ladder because my ass was on the bottom. I put away stock. I stored food. I learned about front of the house and back of the house, and that was an amazing dynamic to watch. But most importantly, I learned about teamwork and fellowship and camaraderie. And, to do it in that live experience, just simply amazing. And I'll never forget that experience because that gentleman was my brother. And, I mean, who doesn't want to hang out with their brother all summer? And you're going to find this to be a recurring theme. But let's go ahead and welcome in now my brother, IFA. What's going on, IFA?
How you doing?
We're living
What's up,
the
Big
dream.
Eddie?
We're living the dream, man. What are you doing?
I got one question.
What's that?
Okay, I have 3 brothers, but you said you have 4.
Oh, I
Who
said
who do I not know?
me.
Somebody out there I haven't met.
I counted myself twice.
I'm a twin, and I know him. Are you
I
a
meant to
twin
say
also?
all 4 of us brothers work there. I get ahead of myself, dude. I get ahead of myself. And you jammed me,
All right.
man. Because what I heard was, hey, you want to hang out all summer at the pizza and eat pizza? And then I'm fucking washing dishes. What the fuck?
You cut up
Talk
some
about a
salads and that. You touched the greens.
I did. What's going on, man?
So I got to know which CDBs was this, because when I moved to Tampa, there were 2 both on Fowler.
This was in Town and Country on Memorial Highway.
Oh shit! I forgot about that one. I
Yep.
forgot about that one. I forgot there was that one too. But when I went to USF, there was 2 of them, and I ended up at the newer big one more often because late at night that place got nutty. The one on whatever it was, corner of Fowler and 51st Street,
Yeah.
was a lot. It was smaller.
Oh yeah, that was the original. And then
Yeah.
my twin brother worked at the one in Carrollwood.
It wouldn't be a Streamcast if we didn't lose power or some
And the
shit,
guy
right?
making that was, yeah, the one in.
IFA didn't even
When I was
notice.
at the. Oh yeah, you both froze, and I just kept talking.
See, I didn't know. I didn't freeze on my end. He froze, but we did not. So
I
everybody's
watched all
seeing
of it
different.
go away.
This is like some Matrix shit. We're seeing the glitches in the system. So
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
no, I ate there. I spent a lot of money at those fucking places. I could get a large pizza with like pepperoni, sausage, and mushroom, and eat 3/4 of it, and just sit there like Jabba the Hutt going.
So one of the advantages of working there, late at night, you'd see all the takeout orders that people they called in but didn't pick up. So we figured out when we would go late night shark fishing, we'd call into CDBs about 10 o'clock and order sandwiches. And then, of course, we never went to get them. So when they closed at midnight, we'd go in, hey, you got any leftover food? And we'd grab our sandwiches for nothing and head out shark fishing.
That's too
awesome.
funny, man.
That's awesome.
too funny. So I wanted to ask you. You started in food service and you took a hiatus, but come September 29th, we're cooking live. I'm really excited about that. And everybody watching, make sure you tune into the Halfway Hangout on September 29th. Myself and IFA and maybe another special guest will all be cooking live. What do you plan on cooking that day, IFA?
Well, being in Iowa, I guess and being from the Iowa Farmers Association.
Exactly. Being not only a member, The founder, are you not of IFA?
He is the member.
The thing with IFA is I looked it up to make sure I wasn't going to get sued. There is no group known as the IFA.
But there is. I looked it up too. The Iowa Farmers Association is a group of people that have absolutely nothing to do with farmers, farming, or associations for that matter. They just live in Iowa. Matter of fact, IFA may be the only member.
Probably, yeah.
Does that mean IBA is the only member of that one too? We'll have to ask him.
He might be walking a tightrope with that name. That would. All
right, so give us some insight as to what you're cooking.
So farming is not just crops. They farm animals. So in Iowa, hogs, cattle. There's dairy farming, so they're farming milk, cottage cheese. And something else they're farming. There's something else. Emu, goats, eggs. So chicken farms, egg farms. But I will be working with pork. So I'll be cooking some pork.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I wish I could taste it.
I'll tell you, I've shopped all over the United States. Pork right off the farm. You go down. I go to my brother-in-law and say, "Hey, I need some hog. I need some pork." And he says, "Go into the locker. That's the local place. You bring your pig. They kill it. They butcher it. They cure it. They cut it. They package it. So it's literally right off the farm. And you cannot buy that stuff in the grocery store. It's so much better. It's ridiculous how much better it is.
Well, we'll definitely be jelly while we're watching you cook, but and I don't want to give too much away. You'll be cooking pork. Are you doing just one pork, or are you going to do multiple different variations?
I'll have two different versions of pork, kind of a tailgate food. You know, Iowa State is ranked number 14.
You know, the whole premise is we're cooking for tailgate food for the Monday night game, Bucks versus Pats. So we'll be cooking in preparation of that. If anybody checking in, if you watch the halfway hangout, you want to, type in there something you'd like to see us cook. My menu still isn't written yet. It'll probably be written like the day before. But if you want me to throw something special, you want to see something special, type it in there. My booties out there, especially my ambassadors, we need to line up a halfway hangout, and definitely we all cook as well. IFA, can you tell us? It's funny. I'm even at the house talking to the girls, and I even call you fucking IFA in the house. I don't even call you Steven.
Nice.
So, what VooDoo seasonings will you be using?
Well, I'll be doing some marinating with Mojo. So I'm going to marinate some pork, and then once it's marinated, I'll give it a rub with something. I'm not going to tell you yet.
Little something.
And then the other pork, it's actually what we call coil. So it's a pork sausage, much like a brat. I'll be seasoning that, covering that in a seasoning. Not going to tell you which. And you got to watch. You want to know, you got to watch. And
Make sure you.
And then I'll be bucking up a Viking favorite. In Iowa, Minnesota Vikings are like the thing. I have no idea why.
They got an amazing record. I can understand why.
Well, I think it's because it's the closest stadium to drive to.
That's
so there's a Viking dish that I'm just gonna buck it up.
Buck it up.
Florida seasonings. Some VooDoo.
Buck it up good.
I'm excited for this.
If you're watching out there, I'd love to know what type of seasonings would you like to see IFA put on those porks. What's your favorite VooDoo seasoning out there? Check in, let us know. Type it in that line. We had a lot of CDB's comments. Don says that when he was coaching at King, CDB's was the after game watering spot.
I can see that.
Mitchell Smithy says the calamari Diablo was
I had that.
Is out there.
The man is right.
My favorite thing has always been their pizza. I even talked to Larry Cutno and asked him to give me their recipe, and he gave me a great knockoff of the CDB's pizza sauce recipe. So, thank you, Larry, for that.
Wow.
And all you got to do is come over to Irwin, and we make it there.
Nice.
I really enjoyed the hard hat sandwich.
Oh, one of the best sandwiches ever.
The hard
That
hat.
was the best sandwich. Yes. It was ham, salami, roast beef, pastrami, and then pepperonis under the cheese. Just delicious. And everything on Cuban bread. My goodness.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Shit.
yeah. Everything was made on Cuban bread. All the sandwiches, the garlic bread, just delicious.
Wow. I don't think I ever had a sandwich here. It was always pizza.
Oh, you missed out.
You
missed out.
Linguine Alfredo with shrimp was like one of our go-tos. Just the cheese bread and dipping it in that the Alessi balsamic vinaigrette.
Oh.
God, I'm fat. Oh my God.
Oh, their chicken parm. Oh, eggplant parm. Their eggplant parm was just unreal.
Wow.
We're gonna have to get Pat Icavelli on the goddamn halfway hangout and cook. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go to Pat's house and hang out and have him cook, and I'll pretend, and I'll just
That's a plan right there.
But
they had
Mitch Smithy loves the red and the zing. What's that, Steve? What's that, IFA?
I was just saying they had some fantastic recipes. I still know. I worked there so long. I've got them memorized. I make their lasagna. I make their chicken parm, eggplant parm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Hey, tell me one of your favorite stories from CDB's. Give us give us some restaurant stories.
Oh God, I got to think of some that I won't get in trouble. Oh, when I worked there, I used to draw a comic strip called "In the Weeds," and I would hang it on the bulletin board. We had this waitress named Lori. She, if she saw a bug in the restaurant, she'd just freak out. So I did a comic strip of her, and it said, "Hey, Lori, you got 2 at table 7," and she goes out there, and there's 2 cockroaches reading menus, giant cockroaches, and then she just falls over crying. But I kind of got banned from doing the cartoons because every Friday, one of the owners, Bernie, he would work all day Friday. He'd work a double. But at the end of the rush on Friday, he would slip off to the bar and he wouldn't help clean up, sticking me with all the cleanup. And he'd sit at the bar and get hammered and have a great time. And so
I want that job.
I did a cartoon of that, and I drew a fantastic picture of him with the big glazed eye, and he just ripped that thing right off the bulletin board, and I was done. My comic strip was over.
Man, you could have been somebody.
I thought they were pretty good,
I want to see it with the roaches reading menus.
Yeah.
So my favorite CDB story. It's coming. During that same summer, I'm working there. Not that I'm promoting this. You guys all fucking disappeared one day. It's like 10:30 and you guys are all gone. We open at 11. I'm fucking back there doing shit, and I come out and everybody's gone. And I'm like, where the fuck they all go? And I open the door and you guys are all sitting out back drinking beer, and you're like, go back inside. So not wanting to be left out, I went to the bar and I got a Sprite, took it over to the line, and took your cooking wine, and made me a little wine cooler. And well, it's not the cooking wine that you buy at fucking
it was white
Camp Club.
Chablis.
It's Chablis or something like that. It's
white
jug wine.
Chablis. Yeah,
it's jug wine. But I went back in the dish room and was happy in my own little world. Took 3 or 4 big sips of that shit. Got lightheaded because fucking, you don't eat. I didn't know you don't eat when you work in a restaurant. It's a fucking restaurant. I want to go eat pizza and get fat. You had me washing the dishes and putting away stock. What the fuck? So I'm sucking down this, before it's time, Bartles and James. And dude, I got lightheaded as fuck and threw that shit out and had a headache and never did it again. Don't think it. But I thought that was funny as shit, and probably wasn't a good idea.
So y'all were behind the restaurant at 10:30 in the morning drinking beer?
So here's
how rock stars live, man.
Here's the backstory. Our dry storage was a semi-trailer out back in the alley. And that's where we kept all the bottled beer, and it was warm. We also had, behind a chain link fence with a lock, was our ice machine. So we would take a pickle bucket, a 5-gallon bucket, we'd fill it with ice, and we'd shove a 6-pack of bottles in there, and we'd hide it out back so they were cold. And here we are in the middle of the fryers talking about this. Hey, we're going to do this, and we got to make sure we don't get caught, and everything's going on. And Eric's standing there with a Sprite, and he says, "You guys work too hard." And he reaches up and grabs that white wine and pours some right in his glass. Ooh. And he's drinking it right in front of whoever's in the restaurant. Nobody's really paying attention, But we actually got caught. We got caught because just the rumor mill, and Manolo Vega was the manager. He called me in his office and said, "So tell me about this." And I said, "Yeah, but I only did it once." He says, "Okay, go to the bar and pay for a 6-pack, and don't do it again." So we didn't do it again exactly. We just started shoving the bottles in the ice machine.
Hey, I want to, we got a lot of stuff still to talk about and do, but I want to ask you, and I just want to leave it hang there, okay?
Okay.
Just tell me if you remember, I don't know, the word basta. Does that mean anything to you?
No.
Okay.
Basta?
Yeah.
No.
Ed, what's that mean in Spanish?
Enough.
Maybe a kiddie pool on the other side of the fence? Not ringing a bell?
No.
That's definitely an offline story. All right. No. Okay, good. It's an offline story. But I just wanted to see if you remember that. Hey, IFA, something we like to do on the podcast. When I tell you the story, you'll remember and you'll be like, "Oh shit, you heard us talking about that?" Yeah, I did. Something we like to do on the podcast is our top 3, and we sent it to you, and Big Eddie C got it. I'd like to talk about our top 3 restaurant experiences. I'll start the first round, and we'll go from there. One of my top 3 experiences was first time I tried sushi. It was probably 1993, 94, and I was working at the Castaway at the time, and we were looking to put sushi on the menu. And coming from Tampa, you guys know that 93, 94 you didn't go to an American restaurant for sushi. You didn't go to every street corner to get sushi. So Anthony and I went to this restaurant called Joto's over near Dale Mabry and Kennedy. and Anthony would eat sushi all the time. And he introduced me to sushi, and being that 24, 25-year-old kid, I'm like, what the fuck? But wonderful experience. Wonderful that I was able to be part of learning about that with somebody who knew about that, with the intent to take it back and put it on our menu. And, that was just memorable to me. And I got to thank Anthony for that and give him a big shout out. And in 95, we were one of the few restaurants in town that actually opened up and had that on the menu. So that's my number 3. Big Eddie C?
I had to think about this one because if we're talking about all-time ones, it's a tie. It's pizza places in my youth. One being Pizza Hut back when they were the place to be, man. I mean, the pie was good. They actually made the dough there. You had a jukebox. If you were lucky, you had that sit-down Galaga, Ms. Pac-Man, or whatever it was, and if you were there on a Friday night and you were playing Galaga and Journey was on the jukebox and you had a fucking Super Supreme waiting at the table when you were done, it couldn't have gotten any better, man. I was like the king of Russia. It was just awesome. And it was just a great memory. There was a local place, and every town seemed to have one of these from what I remember. It was a local place. I don't remember the name. I think it might have been Beyondo's.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it was in downtown Fort Pierce, and you went in there, and it was old school, and they had the fucking silent movies and shit playing on the screen, and some old time whatever music playing. Pizza was fantastic. That was it. I couldn't decide between the two because one was the chain and one was the mom and pop. But man, that place was great. And I know other places have had them and probably still do, probably out where IFA is, probably in the Midwest, places like that still exist. The mom and pop pizza places with jukebox.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got a ton over here, Eddie C.
Fuck no. Everything's gone.
Dude, we got them over here in Dunedin, man. Lots of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, follow Forking Around Tampa Bay. She hits a lot of them. She loves pizza.
Okay.
Tracy was one of our judges at Bash. Forking
Oh,
Around
okay.
Tampa Bay. She's awesome. IFA,
Okay.
what do you got?
Gosh, this is tough. You mentioned Castaways when you worked there, and it was a Bucks game. You and me and our brother Pat were going to go to the game, and you said, let's go to Castaways and get brunch. So we go there, and I mean, huge spread. They got lunch, they got breakfast, they got everything. And it was just unreal. This fantastic meal. Eat what you want, eat all you want. Erik got us covered. We're getting ready to go because the game's going to start, and we still got to drink beer. I look over at Erik's plate, and he must have taken 2 pounds of bacon off the buffet and drowns it in ketchup.
Hey, it's always been butter, bacon, caffeine, carbs.
Obviously.
But he drowns it in ketchup. So I'm not a big ketchup fan. And I'm thinking, okay, you're going to walk away from that 2 pounds of bacon, and I can't even eat it for you. I thought, my gosh, of all things, to just drown all that fantastic, lovely pork.
You could have gone
And
to the
ketchup.
line and got some more.
I
Oh,
know,
my
but
God.
it was the waste factor. I'm thinking the waste factor here.
We could have
The
put
dogs
wrapped
out
it in a
back
napkin.
are gonna love that bacon when they get
We
it.
could have wrapped that in a napkin like Letty and put it in our pocketbook and taken it
That's
to the
right.
game with us.
But no, just you had Crawdaddies, you had Castaways, you had all those fantastic restaurants right there, and and as kids we used to fish on that plot of land
Yeah.
before the restaurants were even there. In fact, when I was in town Labor Day weekend, my brother Matt and I, we drove back there. We parked outside of what's still there, Rusty
Rusty
Pelican.
Pelican.
And we walked down to the water, and we could see the rock out in the water. You can see it at low tide. And there's a channel between the shore and the rock, and it's maybe 100 feet out there. And every variety of fish would swim through that channel between low and high tide. I mean, we'd catch flounder, we'd catch reds, we'd catch trout. We caught everything in there.
Damn.
And then they go and pop up all these fantastic restaurants to eat at, but we lost our fishing spot.
Well, that's going to take me to my number 2, but Eddie C, you start this round. Number 2.
My wife had to correct me on this one because we were talking about Italian places, and the now long gone Lauro's was probably our number 2. We went there for a lot of birthdays and anniversaries, always got treated right. Whatever that we got, whether it was steak or pasta, it was just top shelf. Half the time they'd throw in dessert and a shot of limoncello and not charge us because it was a special events thing. It was just a really good time. If you remember where it was at, it was right by us on Henderson. And I think it used to be maybe a Pizza Inn because it had this big-ass A-frame construction. And I know it was something else before Lauro's went in there in the, whatever it was, 70s or 80s, before I moved here. And the place was great. They just finally closed down one day. The people who owned it, Lauro and Teresa, were getting old, and he just decided, I'm done. Didn't really need the money anymore. And they said, we'll be done at the end of this week. That was it.
The end of the week. Big notice.
Yeah, it didn't take long. I mean, it was really abrupt. I mean, when they were done, they were done. It wasn't going to be like a long fucking farewell tour like the Who in 1988. So they were just.
Isn't that still going on?
Pretty much. Yeah, they're not done. But that was my 2. I was going to say Donatello, which is fantastic as well. But I think we had more times at Lauro's, so it gets the edge. Donatello's is still kicking now, and it's still a very good time. Every time we go there, the host's name is Gino, my wife's name is Gina, and they point at each other like Gino.
So. All right, and my number 2 kind of ties in with IFA's fishing because knowing that they used to be so successful out there. I did a short stint at a restaurant called 2J's. I actually left Castaways for about 3 months and worked at a restaurant called 2J's. And boy, we could have a whole podcast about the shit that went on at fucking 2J's. But we used to get out. We had it set up so that we would get out between 11 and noon. We just had the biggest, I don't want to say scam, but I mean, the place was a joke. The prep list was a joke. Coming from a place like Castaways and going to a place where I'm fucking boiling chicken and putting mayonnaise on it and calling it fucking chicken salad. It's really not a hard task to do. So we would have everything we needed done by 10:30 in the morning. And we'd be standing around, as Eddie would say, looking for our Pulitzer Prize. We would end up coaxing the night cooks into covering for us and letting us sleep. So we would leave every day between 11 and 12, and we may or may not have had a pickle bucket of beer, kind of a la this guy. And we would go out to the point, Rocky Point. And we'd walk out, hang our bucket of beer on a channel marker that just happened to be still there. And we'd sit out there, drink beer, and fish. And we would fish until about 4:30. And it didn't matter. We catch and release, throw it back, because we knew at 5 o'clock we had to be walking into Whiskey Joe's because Gino started work.
Good God.
Oh, come on. We're back. We're like the 80s. We're back.
Holy
we're
shit.
We're like the 80s. We're back, right?
Yeah, you look kind of funny there.
Are we back yet?
I hear you.
Yeah, it's like a time warp.
Wait for good. We're coming back. We're like the 80s.
Now he froze again.
Here we come.
Oh, there he goes.
Now you look like David Hedberg on MTV. Now you're gone completely.
Yeah, now it's a whole reset thing. We got the spinning wheel there.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you my number 2 while he's doing his thing.
Okay.
There's there's barbecue all over the country.
Yes.
Here in Iowa, the big place is Smokey D's. The guy's got more trophies than chairs to sit at in that restaurant. But my favorite, and it's not just the barbecue, it's the atmosphere, it's the small town restaurant. It's not a big chain. Sonny's Barbecue, right there on Hillsborough Avenue. It was right next to the church we went to. I think it's the only restaurant that at the all-you-can-eat price, Erik got kicked out for eating too much. So
only Erik. Holy
he
man.
he takes us in there. He says, "Get the all-you-can-eat ribs. It's the most expensive thing, which means you can order everything underneath of it." So I ordered the all-you-can-eat ribs, but I ate the sausage was fantastic. The pulled pork was amazing. The beef was unbelievable. They even had ham, I think, on their menu, and the ribs, and then the beans, and oh gosh, just a fantastic barbecue. Just simple. You get your plate, a slab of just a piece of Wonder Bread, and then all your barbecue. Kind of reminded me of a place in Kansas City. They took an old gas station, converted it to a restaurant. And you walk in, they serve it on the garbage can lid. Just the ribs were just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wow.
But yeah, Sonny's Barbecue in Tampa. It's one of the places when we go back, it's like, we don't think about going there. It's always grab a Cuban at La Teresita, get Hooter wings, because there's no Hooters in Iowa anymore, even though the owners are from here.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we always forget about Sonny's Barbecue, and next time I'm in town, I need to get over there and get some of that.
There's like none left here. There are 2 that I know of, and that's it. There's one in Wesley Chapel and one in Pinellas Park. That's it. Every one that's in Tampa proper is gone. All of them. Wow. Gone. There was one by the stadium, 2 on Bush, 1 on Hillsborough, 1 on 60 in Brandon. Every one of them is gone. The one by the stadium, I have my own great memories of. 10 years ago, we went there for all-you-can-eat ribs on a Friday night. It was the Friday before Valentine's Day, and we were off that day. It was fair day. And I ate probably to the point where they were going to refund me to make me leave.
Yeah.
And I went home. I didn't feel so good. I thought maybe I had a little indigestion. Long story short, ended up getting an emergency appendectomy the next day. Because I got up the next morning. I didn't sleep the whole night. I said to my wife, "We got to go to the doctor. I don't feel good. Something's wrong." And when I went there, I swear, I was swearing that they were just going to tell me, "You ate too much. Give me some not antibiotics, but antacids. Send me home. He's back." No, they did the test on me, and then the doctor came with it on his face. Oh shit! He said, "No, you have appendicitis." And I looked at him like, "So I'm not going home?" He said, "No, you're having surgery now." Off I went. So I didn't barbecue anywhere for an entire year after that because of the bad association.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised they operated after you ate that much. Not
Now all I know is the doctor told me later that afternoon. He said, "We can't say like how close you were." He said it hadn't burst yet, but it was right there. So
wow.
Yeah. Holy moly.
All from eating too damn many Sonny's ribs.
Oh yeah.
No such thing, Big Eddie C.
Oh, there was that night, February 11th, 2011. You damn right there were too many fucking ribs. I remember that real clear. So.
Well, I popped out, so let me go backwards. I missed Big Eddie C's story, but I want to tell you about the fishing because I don't know where we cut off, but we would walk out, hang the beer over the broken channel marker, fish, catch and release, and drink the beer. And we would quit around 4:30 because Gino showed up to work at Whiskey Joe's at 5. Now, if you know me, you know I wear black jeans and a T-shirt every day. Nothing was different back then. I had on my jeans and I'd wade right out in the water in my blue jeans. And I generally wore combat boots and I would leave those on too. At 5 o'clock, you would see me and my buddy Pat Steele walking right into Whiskey Joe's, soaking wet. Gino would hand us each a pitcher of beer. We would go over to the happy hour buffet and eat dinner, and then go home and do it all over again the next day. That's a memory I'll never forget. It lasted for about a month, and then we ended up going back to Castaway, and you don't pull that shit at a real restaurant, just at a place like 2J's. I'm just kidding. 2J's is a great restaurant. I still love to eat there, but that's my number 2. Eddie C, was that your number 2 or your number 1?
No, last thing I talked about was going to Lauro's for the number 2. That was it.
All right, Steve, what's your number 2 there, buddy?
I just went through all that with Big Eddie C. Sonny's Barbecue, just fantastic.
Perfect. Give us your number 1.
My God, I think my best memory of a restaurant. I couldn't have been 9 years old. Erik was probably at home sucking hind tit because he wasn't 2 yet. My twin brother and my brother Matt, who's 11 months younger, and this was in Melbourne, Florida. Dad would take us along to a place called the Pizza Oven. And it was, on the corner of Sarno Road. I still remember all this. You go into the Pizza Oven and it looked like you're walking into an episode of Quincy. You know, when you go to his buddy's bar, and it was a bar. And I don't know why they called it the Pizza Oven. It was a bar, and I'm like looking around for Quincy to see who he's dealing with, you know. But Dad would order us a pizza, and it was just a plain cheese pizza, the simplest thing. Crust, sauce, mozzarella cheese, and then they would just coat it with oregano. And that smell of oregano, I'll never lose that. And then in the corner of the bar, they had, it was, you know, that shuffleboard with, you sprinkle the powder on it and you slide the discs.
That's like powder, not Parmesan cheese?
It was actually a bowling game. So
no, the sprinkle shit. I used the Parmesan cheese last time I was there.
Yeah, it's Parmesan cheese. So you'd slide the disc up and these bowling pins would flip up, and we would play that game forever. Dad sit at the bar and drink his Miller Lite. Forever, and he'd order us the pizza. And I don't know how many Saturday afternoons we were down there. Mom thought we were going, I don't know, to the park or something, and we'd be at the bar. Dad's drinking at the bar, and we're in the back eating pizza, and that pizza was just amazing. Wow. That oregano smell. I put oregano on every pizza now. It just brings me back to that.
The association of memories and food. It's just amazing how powerful that is. Big Eddie C, what you got? Number 1, my man.
You probably already know, but when I get that tomahawk ribeye at Council Oak over here at Seminole Hard Rock, that's the place, man.
Oh,
everything about that place they slap, man. They do everything right. The food is always dead on. The atmosphere is great. The service could not be better. Everything about it is just fucking amazing for us. We've been to most of the steak places in town. They are all very good. This place always ticks all the boxes for us. It's just always been a great experience, man. Can never, ever, ever complain. I think
Top 10
maybe
steakhouse in the world.
it's one of them, man. I think maybe one time Gina and I went there, and her steak was just a little tiny bit past where she ordered it, which was medium rare. And she was just going to take it because it still had great flavor. Waiter was like, nope, let me take it back or get you another one. And sure enough, a few minutes later, one comes out. I don't remember what the hell she got. I want to say it was a filet. I don't remember. But it was cooked perfect. But, before she even had a chance to complain, which she wasn't going to, he saw her cut into it. And, they wait until you cut in to make sure that thing is spot on. And sure enough, it was just off by that much. Bam, they fixed it. So,
Wow.
but never in all the times we've been there has anything been bad. The steak, the appetizers, sides, dessert, nothing has ever sucked there. It just hasn't happened. So it's fantastic. IFA, I got to know, since my geography's sucking right now, how close is Nebraska to Iowa?
They're next door.
Okay.
The Missouri River runs between them.
Okay.
In fact, there's a Omaha. When we go to Omaha, the Iowa side of Omaha is actually a town called Council Bluffs. Nobody says Council Bluffs; they say Omaha. And the Omaha airport, if you follow the dividing line, the Omaha airport is in Omaha, but west of that is Iowa. It's really strange.
Okay. So there's a place, I'm having to look it up right now. It's in a town called Firth, Nebraska. And there is a pot, it was listed, there's something they make there that was listed as one of the top 50 pasta dishes in America. And it's called the Baked Nebraska. It's a whole huge plate of pasta. One side is red sauce with pepperoni and sausage. The other side is Alfredo with chicken and bacon. And they cover the whole thing in a shitload of mozz and bacon. And then it comes out on this giant platter. So you got the two sides, the heaven and hell, black and white cookie of pasta. I want to go there just for that. And it's cheap too. Fuck, I want that.
Eddie C, it might give you a new number one.
You know what? If I can ever make it to Firth, Nebraska, it just damn well might be.
Too funny. Hey, let me throw my number one out there real quick, and then we got to go on and we got to wrap this bad boy up because of the challenges. We're running a little late. I got a tie for number one. First and foremost, my 18th birthday, we went to a restaurant called Fast Eddie's. Just memorable. And we sat at a big round table at the bottom of the stairs. Just fucking memorable. And the fact that everybody was there goes back to those memories, helping magnifying food and combining just to create an experience that's there. And my number one, if I didn't talk about CDBs and getting engaged and asking, my lovely wife to marry me, that's got to be my number one. And that took place at CDBs. But again, because
my rehearsal dinner was at CDB's.
It was. I remember that. Over in the back bar.
Where was Fast Eddie's at?
Bar.
Over Klosterman Road, over Newport Richie, that area
Newport
over there.
Richie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just an amazing time. But all right, IFA, we appreciate you coming on, and I apologize for all the challenges we have with the connection. We're 2 weeks in a row. Last week we lost power here with the thunderstorms, but I don't know what happened today. But we do got to get towards wrapping this up. But before we do, we definitely have to ask you the final five. These are questions we ask our guests that help us get a little better understanding of who they are and the way they perceive food, and pretty much, how voodoo-fied are they really? So we'll start with the softballs and we'll work our way up to the end. But again, we appreciate you coming on, and we appreciate everybody out there checking in. If you do have any questions or comments for IFA, now's the time, guys, because we're getting here towards the end. IFA, what's your favorite food?
Wow. Oh, my goodness. I would have to say a good spicy sausage. That would be
got some friends that might help you out.
go-to.
Oh,
We go to a barbecue joint, and I don't get the ribs. I don't get the brisket. I order the sausage.
Oh, you gotta get the everything plate, man. All right, now I told you they're gonna get tougher. You got to be a little careful how you answer the following questions.
Okay.
To what temperature do you cook your steak?
My steak, I don't know, 160.
No. Medium rare. Well done.
How do I like it?
Yeah.
I like my steak medium.
Oh, you're on the verge there. You're on the verge.
we'll accept that.
We'll accept, yeah, but at Big Eddie C, he's getting close. He's playing with fire.
Yeah.
Now we've changed the next question because we are live stream now and we're getting more adult. I will give you the softball question, but I do got to warn you: be careful how you answer this one. We have banned somebody from the podcast for their answer to this next question.
And that's
Coke or
only number
Pepsi?
3.
Coke or Pepsi?
Dr. Pepper.
Oh, threw a curveball.
I'm telling you, the man's an outlaw, a renegade.
Big Eddie C, you gonna accept that?
From him, fuck yeah. I mean,
Only because it's IFA. All right,
Yeah,
now we'll go to the big boy question.
because
that
I
we're
bet out
replacing.
there, though, I bet out there, though, they get those ones from Texas that are made with the real cane sugar. And that
You
shit
can
right
get
there.
them at Mission Barbecue, dude.
No, you know what the big thing in Iowa is? Mountain Dew.
Oh, God.
Only if you're making a do right.
And it's called Pop.
It's called Pop.
Pop.
All right, let's get to question number 3. Bourbon or beer?
Can I like mix them? Like a good brew, a good rye
I do.
brew, a good aged beer in a rye barrel.
We'll take it. We'll take it. But we all know that the official beer of Iowa is what?
Busch Light.
Busch Light.
But I'm drinking Green Banshee, which is an IPA from a local brew called Twisted Vine.
Nice.
You know that one, Big Eddie C?
Nope. The only one I know from Iowa is Toppling Goliath in Decorah. That's it.
Yeah.
Because we can get it here in Total Wine.
All right, IFA. What's your favorite cuss word?
I don't have one.
You like them all equally?
I don't have. I'll tell you a funny story. You know my son Bradley. He's 33. I have yet to hear him say a cuss word ever.
Good for him.
33.
You're a better person.
Never
than me,
heard
all
one.
right.
Never heard one.
Good for him.
Ever, never, ever.
I
Now,
can't
my daughter-
remember hearing you say a cuss word.
You what?
I can't remember hearing you say a cuss word.
Oh, you haven't seen me like smash my thumb at work.
All right, your last question, IFA. What would be your death row final meal?
Oh. I don't know, the combination platter from Olive Garden.
The tour of Italy.
The tour of Italy. The lasagna, chicken parm, fettuccine alfredo.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't say sausage, because if you're on death row, that's the right place to get a sausage served to you, if you know what I mean. Bum. Hey, Carl Miller threw a big IFA out there. We got to thank you for coming in, brother. I just am so stoked that we're going to be cooking together. You know, I was 15 back in the day, and you didn't let me cook a motherfucking thing. Probably smart. And, you know, very rarely do we get together and actually cook. We're usually down at Hooters or some shit like that. So this is going to be super duper fun. I can't wait. All the booties out there, make sure you check in the Halfway Hangout, same spot you're watching this right now on the 29th of this month at 7:30. Make sure you check it out, guys. Till next time, we'll see you wherever we're at there.